Hi guys, what's up? It's your bubbly neighbor Cath and welcome back to my channel. So before we proceed, if you're new here and if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button. I will highly appreciate it. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and click that post notification bell button right there so that you get notified every time I post a video. I upload every Wednesdays and now occasionally on Mondays and Fridays when I feel like it. So yes, let's proceed with this video. So today's video, I will be sharing with you guys the basics for my beginner digital artists out there, for my aspiring digital artists. I will be sharing with you guys the app that I use for digital painting and everything you need to know about it. The basics and the fundamentals that you have to know, that you ought to know so that you can develop your skills more in this app. So basically, I use Procreate. It's the app that most artists use then online, especially sa ArtPH na Twitter. Madaming gumagamit ng Procreate. Madaming gumagamit ng Procreate. It's an app for iPad or meron din for iPhone. Procreate Pocket naman. But I'm using my iPad. So I'm using Procreate na app. And it costs, I think, 500 pesos if I remember it correctly. I will just insert the price here somewhere kung mali ako or if tama. So yes, I bought it early this year, I think. I bought it last year. So I've been using it for a year now. And it's really worth it. You can do a lot of things. I mentioned this on my art Q&A when you guys asked me what app I use. I mentioned Procreate already there. And I swear by it. It's very, very sulit. What's sulit in English? It's very worth every penny talaga. You can do a lot of things from that app talaga, especially digital arts related. Pati layouting ko dun ko na din ginagawa. So yep, without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial and the video. So when you open this app, it comes up to this little gallery of the collection of where your past works are. So you can rename it by just simply tapping. So as you can see, I made a stack of my work so that it's more organized. I'll show you how to do it. Say for example, we have here, let's create one. Imagine that's another work and another one. So you just simply use the select button to tap the both and stack it. And you can just rename it, say for example, work in progress. That's it. You now have a stack for that work. You can also rename individual artworks by simply tapping it. You can just write, say for example, cover photo. Say this is thumbnail. That's how it goes. And then here in this little gallery, there's this button, select, import photo, and this plus sign. So select, you've seen how it works already. So let's go to import. Once you click import, it goes directly to your files. So there, you can import a file or from your laptop or from this iPad too. You just have to, explore that. Here in this option, photo, it goes directly to your gallery. So you can just import a photo you want to edit and then you can edit it directly if you don't want to create a new artwork or a new screen. A new canvas, I mean. This plus sign is where you create your new canvas. There are built-in size for your canvas. As you can see, it's up to here. Those are built in. And then I made this sizes for the sizes that I usually use. You can just create a custom size. Say for example, wala dyan yung size na hinahanap mo. Pwede ka lang gumawa and you can rename that too. Say for example, this untitled canvas. Let's rename that. What's this? Say for example, that's for your default photo. You can just tap that here and name it default photo. So you know what, parang you don't have to type it all over and over again when you need it. Say for example, I always use this to make my thumbnail for YouTube. So I already have their YouTube na size. the ideal size for YouTube is 1280 by 720 pixels. I also have my iPhone size for when I make my stories sa Instagram, ganon, or sa Facebook, stuff like that. But when I creating artwork, I usually just go with the square or with the screen size sometimes. So yes, let's say for example, let's just use the screen size for now. So we have here this blank canvas. Let's talk about the brush first. So here's your brush. So on this left side, we have the sizing. So it's all the way up is a nice big huge ass brush. All the way down, it's a fine thinner line. You know how it works. And then this one is for the opacity. So all the way up, wait, let's make that up. You're given a more parang opaque line. All the way down is a less opaque one. Let's change the brush so you can see it better. Okay, let's use my own pencil brush. So here you can see it's, and then when you use the less opaque one, there it's more transparent. You know how it works. So yep, here is the undo button, the one facing on the left. You can undo. Let's undo everything because it's messy. And then this one is the redo button, but we don't want that right now. What we have here is the color picker. So let's see, say for example, oops, I have that color and that color, and I want to use this pink, but I forgot what it is. So I can just tap this, then you can pick the color. You can use this, or you can just long press your finger on the color that you want, and it works the same way. I just personally feel that this long press thing is so much easier than having to tap this and but works both ways naman. Okay, so next let's proceed with the color. So speaking of color, here in the upper right is the color tab. So first you will see this basic color wheel, the brighter, light whites, and then the blacks. And you just have to rotate it for the color that you want. If you want the classic one more, you can just adjust it, play with it if you find that easier. And then here, beside the classic is the harmony tab. So this part, it assists you, so you can choose a color that complements each other. Complementary colors are basically the colors which have the opposite hue on the color wheel. These combinations provide a high contrast and high impact color combination. We can see that the complementary pairs are basically, see, red and green. See, yeah, red and green. Yellow and purple, as you can see there. And blue and orange there. So makes life easier if you want to use complements, because you just have to tap on one color and then you automatically have its complement on that side. Yep. So you have here the color history then. So if I use this color, you'll see that there. So it's easier to look for. So if I change it here and then I want that color again, I can see it there. Say for example, it's not on the screen anymore. You accidentally deleted it all, but you want to have that color again. You can just look at the history, then use it. You can actually long press this too. It will go back to the previous color that you used. So yes, there are a lot of shortcuts here. It's very user-friendly. The interface is actually very user-friendly. So it's very nice. So going back here after the harmony button, yung for the complementary colors, you have here the value. Say for example, you have the specific hex code that you want to use. Say for example, I want an FED 12. I will be given my color, my neon green color that I want. Procreate has its built-in palettes too that you can choose from, but you can also create your own palette. It's here. So basically, when you first buy this app, you have here this set. The 3 palettes that you can use. Palettes basically work if you want something to look exactly the same. So say for example your projects, you have this color palette for that business project, and then you can just use it. Or for your OC, for your original character, you have to have your palette para mas consistent siya throughout, para hindi mo na siya kailangan hanapin over and over again. For me, I have this default go-to color palette. So this is what I usually use for my thumbnails or for the backgrounds of my artwork. I also made a skin, nose, lips, eyes na default na palette for my portraits, so that I know what to use kapag gusto ko mag-draw. And meron ng built-in. So I have, wait, let's move that kasi nakaka-OC. Ayan. It's very easy to create a new palette. I'll teach you how. So you have here this plus sign. It will appear, there under untitled. So you just have to, say for example, you like this shade of brown, you just have to put that there and then tap it here on the palette, and it will automatically save there. You can also rename your palette here. Say for example, you want darks. Let's name it darks. There. Then you have that palette ready to use. Beside the color changer button, wait, I think I tackled everything naman. So you just have to set default the color palette that you want to see here when you click it, para yung mas ginagamit mo, para mas mabilis mo siyang makuha. Ganun. Lagay mo lang dyan, tapos ka na. You're all ready to go. So dahil na-tackle natin everything on this tab, I think I didn't miss anything naman. Let's move on to this. This layer, this button beside the color changer button is the layers button. It's basically where your layers are at. So right now we have the background and the first layer. So the background is basically your background. If you want to create a PNG, you just have to remove that background and then write over it and save it as PNG. Say for example, I write Cath, and then I want to save that as a PNG. I just have to save that way. But if I want to add the background, you just have to click that background. If you want to change the color of your background, you just have to tap that, and then you will be brought to the color wheels and the classic palette, whatever. Then you just have to choose what color you want. Say for example, I want this purplish or this blue. There. So you have here the first layer, as you can see, dyan ako nagsulat kanina. I personally recommend using layers, especially for somebody who thinks na lagi feeling nila magkakamali sila or indecisive sila with the colors or with the style, ganon. At least if you have layers, you can simply add and then say, okay, I'll give you an example na lang para mas madali. Say for example, I have here this yellow box. Let's make a yellow. Say for example, I have and then I want to write on top of that for my header. If I write on top of that, say for example, Catherine, Cathy. If I write on top of that, and I want to erase Cathy because ang pangit ng sulat, I don't like that my handwriting there, you will erase the yellow box that you made earlier. But if you have it on a separate layer, say for example you want it here, I want to change the color, I can write it there. And if I want to erase Cath, I can simply erase it, and it won't affect the yellow one behind it. So here under layers, you can also, as you can see earlier, when you slide it, you see the delete, duplicate, and lock. I usually use duplicate layers when I feel like I'm not yet sure about what I'm changing and I want to go back to that process later. I duplicate it and just, uncheck. This check button is basically a show and hide layer option. So if it's checked, obviously it's shown. If it's not checked, it's hidden. There you go. So let's delete this. You have here other options. When you tap this, you can see a whole lot more of options here. First is rename. You know exactly what that does. It renames the layer line. This is for a more organized process. Say for example, you're doing a portrait. When you do a portrait, it involves, basically for me personally, it involves a lot of layers. So sometimes you get confused. So say for example, you want to name your outline first. Name it outline so that you don't get confused where is the outline later if tatanggalin mo na yun, diba? Mas madali yung buhay. So yep, and next is the select layer. So dalawa lang to, so mahirapan kayo makita sa tugtugan natin. You can select that. You can just this, the select layer, it's empty kasi. Ayan. So when you select, so this one is not an empty layer, so you can select it. Then now you have selected yung mga nandun lang sa area na yun. So you can adjust it to doon. Okay, we'll go with that later. Okay. So yep, after the select layer, you have the copy layer if you want to copy it, of course. Fill layer if you want to fill it with the color that you have there easily. But you can also do the drag and drop. You just have to long press this button, you will see the circle there. Then you just have to drop it there and then it will automatically fill your canvas. Just the same. The clear layer obviously clears your canvas. Let's try something. Line. So let's clear that. Automatically deletes it. The difference with clear and delete obviously is that this one doesn't delete the layer but just clears the writings on that layer, but delete layer deletes everything. So next is the alpha lock. So say for example, in this line you wanna write something on this line but not on the other parts of the screen. So to make sure that the writing will stay on that line only, you press the alpha lock, then ta-da, Viola, you can write it there. You can write anywhere else but it won't show because walang nakasulat dun beforehand. So the alpha lock will only allow you to write over the items na nandun na kanina before ka mag-start. Ganon. Say for example, application wise of that, let's change our brush with this. I like this. So say for example, you have here a circle and then I color that. So I want to add a darker shade here for a shadow. You alpha lock that, and then you choose a darker shade. For example, this one. Then let's use something, a softer brush for shadows. And then, wait, let's enlarge that. And then you see, you already have the shadow. Syempre, depending on the size. There. Or if you want to add a highlight, okay, let's choose a lighter one on the top. See, there. It's easier to do those if that alpha lock is on. Kasi if it's not on, then kapag ka naglagay ka ng shadows, lalagpas siya dun, di ba? So, mahirap. The clipping mask. So, the clipping mask naman, when you have here, ang dami na nating layer, para tanggalin natin. So, when you have here, parang siyang alpha lock, pero it creates a new layer para hindi ka dun sa mismong layer nung parang original thing mo maglalagay. Say for example, I want a flower. Let's make many random flower scribbles. I want that flower to be only on my rectangle, so I just have to clip that. Then there, as you can see, it's only on your, even if you write anywhere else, it won't be seen kasi ito lang yung meron sa likod. So, dapat nasa taas yung clipping mask mo. There. Anyway. So, yan. Now that we're done with the clipping mask, basically inverts the color. So, you can merge down, say for example, I will write something here. I will write, it's too fat. Why is it so, yeah, let's write, oh, nakababa pala. There, let's write hello. Ang ugly, pero yan. We want to merge that together with this line. You can just pinch it, or you can tap merge down. When you merge down there, they become a single layer. So now you can adjust them together, move them together. When you lose this one's first, when you pinch it together, it becomes smaller. When you pinch it farther, it becomes bigger naman. So yep, that's how it works. The last option here is combine down. So if merge down, parang merge down merges your layer. Combine down creates a group for your layer. Say for example, let's undo. Or there, it's now different. So I want them together so that I can move them together, but I don't want to merge them kasi baka magkamali pa ako. So you can just combine them down to make a new group there. And now you can rename this group. You know how it works, rename. You can type it, say for example, hello. Then now your highlight and your text is combined there. So after that, after the layers tool, I think we've tackled everything that you need to know in this area. Yep. Duplicate basically duplicates the layer. Say for example, I want to duplicate this. I want to change the color of this one into gray because I want it to look like a background. So we can color that. No, this is black pala, not gray, but pero ganon. I want to make it a shadow, so we can use that as a shadow. Voila, you have the shadow now in your brush, diba? So there, let's proceed. Now let's tackle both the eraser and the brush kasi the eraser tool uses the same brush as the brush tool, so we can tackle that all together. So there are different brushes. There are different types of built-in brushes, but of course, you can also make your own brush. So, as you can see kanina, ginamit na natin yung my own. I made that pencil and this, my watermark. So, para hindi na ako paulit-ulit gumagawa nun kapag ano. I just have to tap that and then I have my watermark for my paintings. Ay! Wait. Just have to adjust it. There. Let's add my watermark there, say for example. So, but there are actually a lot more to explore here sa brush side. So, I will be creating another video on how you create your own brush. But for now, let's explore yung nandito na. So, it from sketching all the way to water. Those are all built-in brush from Procreate talaga. There are also a lot of brushes readily available online that you can download. And I personally love downloading brush sets sa Gumroad. I will try to link down below the brush sets that I have downloaded if I can still find the link. But there are honestly a heck ton of brushes available on Gumroad. You just have to search. Some artists sell their pre-made brushes and some just ask for donations. So anyway, let me share with you some of my personal faves from the built-in brushes. So here, from the calligraphy, I think you've seen me use this earlier na, the script one. I love this because it mimics the brush na parang pang calligraphy talaga. The feels of the look at that. Thin lines up, heavy lines down. You just have to put the pressure on your pen, and then it mimics that. So I love that. I personally love the shale brush. I use this for my thumbnails. Yung mga parang sobrang handwritten feels. Ganun. Hello. There. But there are a whole lot more of brushes available that I really love using. There are even built-in elements. See, you have flame here. Let's put red. You have built-in flames. Sobrang red naman. Ayan, you have built-in flame. You have water, ocean, snow, hard rain crystals, clouds. I love clouds. I love adding that element sa paintings ko sa likod. Ganun. Parang, if I don't wanna think of anything complicated as a background, I just tap on the clouds brush and then add clouds. So you can see my background. It's made of that, the clouds brush. It also has built-in textures. I personally love here under the textures. I love this Victorian brush. If you can, observe sa mga thumbnail ko. Parang if I want an added factor, I just add that. Or sometimes, ginagawa ko siyang wallpaper sa painting ko, sa mga portraits. Yup. And then, yeah, you can experiment a lot here sa brush. I personally recommend you na kayo na lang tingin dyan. Yep. Sa next vlog, tuturuan ko kayo kung paano mag-create ng sarili nyong brush. Pero let's leave that in another video kasi hahaba to masyado. Yep. See, it's grid for that aesthetic vibe, Yep. So you can also edit your brush according to your liking, as you can see here. So I have here two script, right? This one's the original script brush from Procreate, and this one, the one that I edited. I will show you the difference. Mainly, I edited the streamline. Wait, you just So if you want to edit a brush, you just have to tap it, and then it will appear here where you have a lot of options where you can play around and edit according to your liking. But here I'll share with you guys this streamline option. So I feel like, so say for example, lagay natin dito yan. Tanggalin na natin. Let's remove the streamline. When you write it, it's parang, ayan, ang pangit. Say for example, let's write. Tanggalin nga natin itong hello. Let's write Cath. Without the streamline, it's so ugly. It has a lot of jitters, as you can see. Your handwriting looks bouncier and rounder with this. So let's proceed with this brush is the blending brush. This option, this tab is for blending. So, okay, let me share with you a secret when creating a circle. You just have to long press that and then click circle. And boom, you can drag and drop the color. Then mapupuno na siya. Anyway, I did that because let's change the color. Ang bright eh. Ayan. I want to show you guys the smudge area. So here I want this soft blend brush. Now let's write muna. So lagyan muna natin ng color. Say for example, this brown one here, and the lighter shade here. Sobrang light. There, ganyan. And then I wanna blend that para it's natural looking. You have this button here, yung pangalawa. That's the blend button. So, say for example, I want the flat brush smudge. You just have to do that there until it's smudged. If you want it if you want a more parang soft blending, you can choose the airbrush or the soft blends, and then okay, you can see the difference agad, diba? Lagyan natin ng lighter tone dun sa taas para mas makita nyo yung difference kung gaano ka soft yung blend. See, there, it blends perfectly soft. There. So over here is the select button. I think you've seen me use that a lot of times now dito sa video natin na ito. So this is the select button. If it's in the same layer, you just have to select it. You can move it all over the place. As I mentioned earlier, you can pinch it down to make it smaller. Pinch it outwards para maging bigger yung element mo. You have a whole lot of options here underneath. Then freeform, basically free siya, wala siyang guide, however you like to move it. Uniform, it's the size of it, ratio nito equal lagi, uniform. Distort, basically distorts your photo, your element, I mean. So say for example, you want a perspective art. I use this for perspective art. This one, it warps your image in whatever way you want it to be. Let's make this clearer. But there, if you want to warp it, so you see the points there intersecting. You can change it all depending on what you want. You want it to be, so you want this to be on the other side, and then you want to flip this until it's a totally different image. You can do so. So you can also, also have other options here below. Wait, yeah. To flip it horizontally, vertically, you can rotate it 45 degrees. You can fit it to the screen. We have here magnetics. Let me show you how it works. So this allows you to move it in a way na diretso. Say for example, ayan. 'Di ba nag-start kunwari ganyan. Ganyan ka magsa-start. Now you want to select it and you want to move it here lang pero same yung place. You on the magnetics and it will give you the snap kung saan yung line mo. Pwede rin siyang pataas. Ganun. So parang may ruler ka na guide. Yep. Then here is the select. You can select automatically, freehand, rectangle, or ellipse. So basically, select tool is, so this is how it works. Say for example, let's dyan din sa layer na yan. Mag-add tayo. Wait. Mag-add tayo ng, ay, nakaka-falak. Mag-add tayo ng petals na malayo. Ayan, 3 lang. Dahil, sige na, buuin na natin. Ayan. Pero yan, gets nyo na. Pag ganyan, kanyari, di ba ito yung kung gusto mo i-move lahat. Tapos, ito say, for example, ito, gusto mong i-move tong, ang gusto mo lang i-select ay itong isang to. At i-move siya konti. You can do so. Pwede mo siyang lakihan, siya lang mag-isa. Ganon. That way. So, pwede mo din siyang burahin ng nakaselect. Kunwari, ito, this two, it's super ugly. Wait. You can erase that na sila lang. Masaselect siya. So, pwede mo silang burahin na sila lang. Ganon. So, that's how that works. That select button. So, next button here is the adjustments tab. So, this adjustment button, madami kang makikitang options dyan for opacity, blur, different kinds of blur, sharpen, noise, liquify, clone, hue, saturation, and brightness, color balance, curves, and recoloring. So, say for example, let's create a new layer, and you have this circle. I love circles, as you can see, no? Let's fill that with pink. You just have to, again, you just have to drag and drop it on your circle. But you have to make sure that your circle is enclosed. The brush that you've chosen is enclosed. Ito. Oh, diba? Kahit na, so you just you have to choose the brush properly. Kasi kahit ito, i-perfect circle pa natin. Nalabas pa rin yung color kasi hindi enclosed yung brush na yon. So, yep. Let's do that dun sa, ito na lang. Let's make a circle. Ellipse na lang. Ayan. Let's make an oblong. So, that oblong, say for example, you want to blur this. You have this, kasi you have this sa likod niya. And you want to blur this. You can see that end there. That's where you can see the opacity. Pero pwede rin siya dito sa adjustments. You can adjust the opacity of that there too. It works just the same. So, yan. Hindi pa pala natin na-tackle to kanina. So, balikan natin. Here in the end, kasi yan yung normal, diba? So, you have here the different parang mga options. Ito yung mga kadalasang ginagamit natin pag nag-edit ng photo. Dati sa PixArt, mga panahon na yun. So, you have here multiply, darken, color burn, etc., etc. I will make another vlog para sa parang different techniques na natutunan ko using this. para mas mapadali ang buhay nyo. Pero sa susunod na yun. Anyway, so yun, let's make it normal. So dito, balik tayo sa adjustments tab. Ayan yung opacity. This one is the blur. I use this kapag shadows. Pag gusto ko magkaroon ng shadow, yung text ko, ganun. Or I want a portrait effect, parang ganun. You can blur your background para yung painting mo mas lutang sa harapan. Kasi background lang yung blur, diba? Ganun parang camera shot effect. So, we have also here the motion blur. Makes you feel like, gumagalaw yung parang nagkahiwalay na sila. See that? And you also have here the perspective blur. So, here naman, yung gitna, parang yun yung focus niya, focal point, tapos nagbe-blur yung nasa paligid niya. So, as you can see, hindi nagbe-blur or hindi nagagalaw yung nasa likod nun, nung oval natin, dahil nasa ibang layer siya. So, if you want that then, na magalaw, you have to combine them all together. Okay. So, yes, you can sharpen the colors, just like how you do it sa VSCO. You can sharpen it. Can you see the difference? I hope you can. Sa gilid, see how sharpened the edges are. Yes. And then you can add noise. Diyan yung parang mga luma effect, diba? Parang blurred bad TV effect. You can add that. Sometimes I like to add this final touch ng picture para hindi siya masyadong fine, para mas may parang film effect siya, ganon, vintage effect. You have here the liquify. So this is a very fun tool to use. Let's add parang random colors here. I'll show you how I easily do the marble effect kapag nandito. So let's add various colors. The purple. Let's add more. Yellow. Pink. More. Green. Oh, mali. Hindi sarado yun. Ibig sabihin. You have to make sure if you are gonna drag and drop, you have to make sure na sara yung area na i-drag and drop mo para hindi ka And then let's add the last color. Say for example this. Let's flatten that. Combine them all together. When we use this liquify tool, say for example push, you're pushing the colors there. Say lakihan natin para mas makita nyo. See? Twirl right, twirls it to the right, obviously. Twirl left, twirls it to the left. If we used only like two colors, this will easily appear as marblish effect. Kahit ano pang gawin nyo dyan. Pero ngayon nga it looks like parang it gives off that same feels. You can pinch it para mapaglapit nyo together. See? You can expand it opposite of pinch. See, nagmumukhang bloated tong part na to. You can make it crystals. See? You see that? Or you can make it edgy. Or you can reconstruct it. Make it go back to its original form. See, there. Okay, let's swirl it again. This is so fun to do. It's an easy way to make. Parang sometimes people, when I actually do this sometimes for parang mga rugs, parang carpet. It's nice. It's a nice effect sa mga portrait ko kapag nagdo-draw ako ng background. And we have here the clone tool. So you can Say for example, you want this. You want to copy this there. See? There. I don't think you can see it clearly kasi magulo yung paper natin. Pero sige, gawin natin ganito na lang. Ito na lang. Para mabilis, para makapakita ko sa inyo na maayos yung clone tool. Dito. Let's clone this. Ayan. So, ito yung magiging guide. So, makakagawa ka na ng dalawang ganyan dito. There, because of the clone tool. Diba? There. So, you also have here the hue and saturation. You can play with it. The colors. So, you can also use this to edit your photos. Kasi meron na siyang ganitong options. You also have here the color balance. I don't think you can see it properly kasi, ayan, medyo kita nyo na. Diba? And then, the curves, if mas gusto nyo yung RGB curves, mas nakakontrol nyo yun, pwede rin. See, you have a lot of things that you can experiment. Say for recolor button applies. Say for example, diba ito, blue na blue yan. Gusto natin, hindi siya blue. Gusto natin gawing pink yung ma-blue area. You can adjust that. See? Maximum. So, pag parang higher the percentage here, the higher it is then yung parang sakop niya na mapapalitan niya. So you can see kahit hindi na sila magkatabi, nandun na yung blue sa other side na yun, nasasakop pa rin niya kapag naka-maximum. So lahat ng blue na nakikita niya, napapalitan niya ng pink nung pinili niya yung pink. So here in this parang tool na option, button, you have here the actions tab. So let's go through it one by one, pag ganun, left to right. So the add, so sa add file, it's as it is, insert file, insert photo, take a photo using your own camera. You can add a text, cut, copy, and copy the whole canvas. So you can paste it to another parang canvas here din sa Procreate. So the most used here is yung text. Yan yung most used ko dyan na tab. So if I want to add the text, you just have to edit that. And then say for example Cath. Then I have here, there's a lot of pre-installed fonts, but you can actually download it then. You can actually download fonts. You can actually download fonts and open it on Procreate so that it will automatically be saved there and you can automatically use it. There you go. So you have here the different options. You have the size. Kerning is the spaces there. So as tracking is the tracking of the letters from one another. Leading is for the, say for example, you have a paragraph. Leading is the space between the first and the next line. Baseline is basically yung sa top and bottom, but it doesn't, for me, it doesn't really matter kasi hindi naman kita yan eh. Opacity is the opacity of the text, but you can adjust that there too, dun sa kaninang pinakita ko sa inyo. Here is the alignment. And then the other options, you can have it as outline lang or underline. You can all caps that, pero syempre script to, so hindi natin pwede yung all caps. There. So, you can rasterize the text. So, you can, edit it according to your likeness. But once you rasterized it, you can't parang retype it na. Kasi rasterizing it flattens the layer. And hindi na siya magiging text layer. Kung hindi, parang a separate layer na. So, let's say for example, rasterize that. Because I wanna color I wanna add parang a texture on that. Say for example, I want this. So I rasterize that so that I can add texture on top of my letter. Or say for example, I wanna, once you've rasterized it, you can do anything with it na katulad nung madiniscuss natin kanina. Yung mga iba't ibang parts, the waves, the warp, distort, etc. etc. If you want to combine it with another, say for example, I will create parang highlight dyan sa likod nyan. That's with this yellow color. And then you want to combine it with that highlight. You just have to pinch that. Then now it's combined all together in a one-piece situation. There you go. So I think we've tackled that already. You can, now we go with the next one, the canvas. The canvas is where you, this option is where you can crop and resize, and then you can actually open the drawing guide. Say for example, you want really straight or pantay-pantay na photos or elements dyan. You can move that. You can move the thickness, adjust it, the opacity then, and the size. Yan. So, kung mas gusto mo mas detailed, kung mas maliliit yung ginagawa mo, then do a smaller grid size. So, here, we have different isometric, perspective, and symmetry. You can also on assisted drawing. Say, for example, this isometry. Gusto mo na parang gumawa ng mandala style. You can, mali yung na-assisted natin. Assisted drawing done. So here you can see dun sa layer mo na may nakasulat assisted. So ibig sabihin, if I write something here, antaba. If I write something here, you write it on the separate then different. Wait, let's change the color so you can see it better. So there. If you write something here, you can easily make it then dun sa other how do you call that? Other parts. You can write, see, and this is the easiest way to do a mandala. Mga tattoo designs, you can do it here too, yung mga ganyan. Yung mga pang wedding na tattoos for traditional, you can do that then. Yep, so that's basically it there. You have also animation assist for GIF making, however you want to pronounce that. So you have animation assist. I will discuss it with you next time on a separate vlog para mas detailed. But yes, basically it's there. You can flip the canvas horizontally, flip the canvas vertically. Yep. Canvas information, I like this option very much because it makes me see kung gaano katagal na ako nagdo-draw or see about this artwork. So you can add your parang made by Cath Garcia. Let's add that there. You can add your photo pa, ganon. You can sign there, and then you can edit the dimensions here. You can see the dimensions of your artwork here. Say for example, you want a similar parang artwork, and then you can't remember the size. You can easily track it there. You can see how many layers you've used, how many are available pa. You can see the color profile that you've chosen. Once you create kasi the canvas, you can see there the color type that you want, ganon. So here, you have here the total strokes then that you've made. the time. I like this because I like tracking myself. Say for example, I'm doing a portrait. I love to see kung gaano katagal na akong nagpipaint. Also, it works best for commissions kasi some people pay higher price kapag mas matagal yung mong ginawa yung artwork kasi feeling nila mas nahirapan ka doon. So, yung ibang yung ibang customers, minamahalan nila yung bayad pagka nakita nila na matagal yung oras ng yung time na ginawa natin yung artwork. So yeah, it's nice to have this tracker here. So here is the share button. You can share it in different types. You can share the image or you can share the layers. So yeah, you can see it there as is. So if you can see, as I told you earlier, pwede dito gumawa ng GIFs. So there, or even animated MP4 or PNG. There. You can also save it as a PDF. Say for example, you're making a booklet. Ganon, mas madali na siya kasi automatic after. You can save it. You don't have to save it one by one, then convert it into PDF after. You can just simply save it as PDF. Yep, you can also save it as PSD for those who want to edit it sa computer. Kunwari, may mga iba ka pa. Yung ibang artist kasi ginagawa nila, ine-edit pa nila sa laptop nila using Photoshop. So, this is actually a very good option para mata-transfer mo din agad sa laptop and you can open it sa PSD na walang nagbago sa quality. Ayan, so you have here also, it automatically records your time-lapse unless you turn it off. Na-export natin. Wala natin i-export. Ayan, you can, say for example, let's replay what we've done. For a quick lang. Ayan, it shows you everything that you've done all throughout the process na naka-open yung canvas na to. Lahat ng mga changes na ginawa mo. So, it's very good kapag gusto mo magkaroon ng time-lapse ng work mo. Say for example, you're doing a painting of a character or a portrait, ganon, you can easily do it there. And then you can, and you can easily export it. Diba kanina muntik pa natin ma-export. There, you can, but it saves, but of course, it, uses up memory. So, if ayaw mo naman, pwede mo na ding i-off na lang, ganon. So yes, here are the preferences. You can parang edit the pressure curve, your controls, the cursor, the mask, the undo delay. Yeah, you can all see it here sa preference option. So here, as you can see, there are actually other customizable options. Say for example, you want to clear a layer. If you scrub your finger back and forth, it will clear the layer, or 3-finger swipe. But I don't on yung mga touch and hold kasi sometimes nadadaganan ko tapos nadidelete na siya agad. So, no. Yung iba din dito, parang kunyari, gusto mo na itong hand mo, nagpang-draw, tapos yung isa, pang smudge yung finger mo. So, you can turn that on. So, every time you touch the screen, it will automatically smudge kasi naka-on yun. And a lot more. You can see it there. And then, lastly, here, I help. So, if you want to know more about it, if may na-delete ka, if gusto mo i-restore yung purchases mo, you can just click it there. They also offer a handbook na you can read para mas madali ang buhay if you want to, if masipag ka, ganon. You can leave them a review, and you can follow them also on Instagram because they actively answer questions. They have a team to answer your questions. And yes, that's basically it. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys learned a thing or two from this video. If you like this video, again, don't forget to click the thumbs up, click that post notification bell button so that you get notified every time I post a video. Yep, if you have any more questions or video ideas, requests, tutorial requests, you can just drop it down below so that I can see them and I can, do it soon. I am reading all your comments. Thank you so much for your sweet comments every time I post. I appreciate it. Yep, thank you. And yes, if you want to know more about anything, just watch out for my future vlogs. Again, this is your bubbly neighbor Cath, always reminding you to always be kind. Bye! Stay safe!